Okay, if anybody joining the call can just put their let me see, phones on mute. That will help us with the background noise. We're about to start in 1 minute with the actual presentation, and look forward to everybody joining.
Okay, shush, shush. We're about to start in
Okay, you just need to put on mute. Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
Okay, so speakers. Speakers over there. Take notes.
I think that's the only way we're going to manage it. Okay. Yeah, look, reckon we're ready to go.
Hey, we've got a problem here.
So, what's the plan?
What's your plan?
What are your plans?
What's the plan?
What's the plan?
What's your plan?
What's your plan of action?
Plan.
What's the plan?
So, what is the plan?
Wait, I have a plan.
I have a plan.
I have a plan.
That's the plan.
I have a plan here.
This plan's gonna work. Master Plan, Phase 1, Side A.
I love everything about your plan.
भाई इससे कहते हैं planning.
What's it say?
Well, it says, I love it when a plan comes together.
Good morning and welcome to Questacon Schmidt Studio as we stream to you live as part of the Young Australians Plan for the Planet project. My name is Natalie and I'm joined by Director of the project, Ian Chambers. Hi Ian.
Hi, Nat.
We'd like to begin by acknowledging Australia's traditional custodians of country, the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, as the custodians and also the first innovators of this land. We pay our respects to their elders past and present, and as part of the Young Person's Plan for the Planet, we extend that respect to the young people as the of tomorrow. So today, we're going to talk through a little bit about the project, what you've got lying ahead of you, and what you've been up to, I suppose, so far. Ian, tell us what's going on.
Absolutely. Look, thanks, Nat. Look, it's pretty exciting. Last time we met, we were about to launch. So the next day was the launch day. Now, in the meantime, all the students around Australia have been working on the first phases. The first one was just understanding a little bit more about the Sustainable Development Goals, which we just had on the video.
Yeah.
And the next part was the really exciting part, which is the discovery phase. So the discovery phase is really about learning what's happening in your region, ecozone, and capturing that so that we can turn that into a plan for Australia.
So we're taking it right back. So just as a reminder, there's 20 eco zones which have been set up across
That's right,
Australia,
yep.
and each zone has a school which is responsible for developing the plan for that
Actually,
region.
right behind
Oh, here
you
we go.
are the 20 eco zones.
Excellent. And we're, of course, joined by a number of those schools today via the live stream and on the phone. So just as a heads up, those who are listening in over the phone as well, we have muted you at this end. So we can't hear you just yet, but we'll make sure that we switch that on when it's time for you to speak. So Ian, tell us a little bit more about what are you going to talk to us about today?
Okay, look, there's 3 parts to today, and we're going for about 45 minutes. And the first part, I'm going to explain a little bit about what we're doing with the discovery phase and also how we're going to do it.
Sure.
So a lot of students around the country, look, we've got a fair bit of time here, and maybe it's a big job, but in fact, I want to show everyone how we've worked with other students to actually make this a very simple process and a fun process.
Excellent.
So I'll talk about that for probably 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
A few stories about that. Then we're going to be joined by Kent Street. Put your hands up, Kent Street. I know you can hear us. And they're going to tell us a little bit about what they're doing in Perth. And then we're going to have Q&A from any students
Fantastic.
who want to join.
All right, well, I might step out and leave you to talk about these next little parts, and I'll see you all in just a moment.
Thanks, Nat. Terrific. Well, look, thanks very much, everyone, for joining, as Nat was saying. Last time we met was in November to launch the program, and most of you will have completed the first part, which is the research and orientation phase. There are a number of surveys there, and we know you've worked very hard on those. They were really important to help you understand the extent of the Sustainable Development Goals and the issues around sustainability, and particularly also about visioning, thinking about what you'd like the future to look like. So as a recognition of the work you've done on that, what we'll be doing over the next couple of weeks is sending out to you all a copy of your Phase 1 Certificate of Achievement. So let me see. What you need to do is simply let your teacher know that you've completed that, and we'll send out your Certificate of Achievement. And for every phase in the program, we're going to have a Certificate of Achievement. So by the time you've finished the program, you'll have 5 certificates of achievement. So congratulations to everybody on finishing the first part. Now, the other good news is that the first part's actually probably the toughest. So some of you I know worked very hard on those surveys, but that was actually the hard part. That's like when you start a new job or you start in a new school, you're starting to get your head around how it all works, and then it gets easier. Is that right? Well, that's how we've designed the programs. First part is, let me see, a little bit, just like first day at school, a little bit tough, but as we go forward, it gets a lot easier and a lot more. So we just wanted to talk through today the next phase, and I wanted to tell you a couple of stories as well about how we've developed the approach we're taking in Australia and why you'll find it straightforward. So the first story is a little bit about what I used to and how that turned into the book called Plan for the Planet, which I have a copy of. So I used to have to go and visit. Things weren't working quite as well, and my boss would say Russia, and help them sort out their business was the numbers. Sure, you know what the numbers looking down means. Well, I go out and I could go and I could either say, look, I'm from head office and I'm here to tell you how to run your business, which wouldn't go down very well, or I could go and say what was really happening, which is I'm from head office. I'm sure you know a lot more about how to run your business than I do. So if you could explain that to me, I'll translate that into. And head office speak was just a business plan. And I'd take that back to Health and they'd say, this is great. We can see what we need to do in Russia, and they do it. But it worked really well because all the team in Russia would say, great, they're doing what we need them to do. And guess what would happen? Business would turn around and all of a sudden we'd have a very happy Russian team and a very happy central team, and everything would be working much, much better. Now, the secret ingredient in that was just putting a simple business plan together. But there was another secret ingredient, was simply asking questions, saying, look, you already know how to do this, tell me, and then we can work out how it can happen. So the interesting thing about that was that all of the answers were there. I didn't have to be really clever. All I had to do was ask the question. And that's all the first discovery phase is. You don't have to come up with anything clever. All you have to do is just ask the questions about your student focus area, sustainable development goals. And who do you ask? Simple. You can ask your council, you can talk with your family, you can talk with your friends. So this is all about sharing knowledge, because most of the answers to building a sustainable development plan are already there. So there's a lot of great people all around Australia already working on this, achieving a sustainable Australia. What we're doing, what else has done, which is pretty exciting, is we're putting it all together using our eco-zones. So even at the end of the first phase, which is the discovery phase, we will have a view of each of the eco-zones and everything happening, or most things that you're going to fill out in your discovery summary sheet. So that your only job in the first part is to simply put that together. So you've got another 6 weeks till end of March to do that, all fairly straightforward. You can ask questions. Probably about halfway through March, we'll put up their drafts onto the website, because this is all about sharing knowledge. So if there's something happening over in Kent Street in Western Australia, you'll be able to see what they're doing at Ulladulla High, and you can borrow and share those ideas and put it on the second part of your discovery summary sheet. And that will be maybe not what's happening in your, what you think needs. So it's a very simple process. And then what we're going to, we might just, is we're going to start to bring those together. Take it to the next slide. And we're going to turn, well, I've got to work out, that's it. I've got to work out my, my logistics here. But your discovery sheet, which we're going to then take over to here. I've got it. We're going to take it over to here. And what we're going to do is capture the most important one. So you'll see on your discovery sheet that you just have to number each of the things you discover from 1 to 10. Either how urgent are they or how important. And that'll give you a score, if you add them up, of 20. And then we're going to take the top score and we're going to build a business plan, but that's not even until April. So that's fairly straightforward. Your focus at this, and the reason we're doing this is because there's another really good trick, I'll call it a good trick in planning, which is often you will find that if you do the top 20% of things that need to be done, so the most important one, the most urgent, then you'll in fact fix 80% of the problems. So that's a pretty neat trick, and you'll find that happens in business all the time. So we don't even have to implement all of the things that you find in your discovery sheet. All we have to do is focus on the top 20%, And all the mathematicians out there will know top 20% means out of your 20 on your form will become 4. Then what we do is we take those 4 and in April, May, so you realise you've got a lot of time to do. Some of the students were saying, look, this appears to be a program. Well, it is. That's simply so that you have plenty of time, because we know you've all got schoolwork, sport, and you've got lots of other things you want to be doing. So we've made this really simple, not too much to do, but something where you're learning skills that will bring together economics, science, and your geography, and lots of other subjects, mathematics, etc. Bring them all together and you'll be learning skills about how to manage, plan, all of which you can translate into your careers. So this is pretty exciting stuff. It's about building a plan for a sustainable Australia, for your future, so that we can have as terrific a world tomorrow as we've got today. And it's about learning skills you can take out into your careers as you move forward. So they're the 2 main aims we've got of the program. And as you know, in the last part of the program, what we're going to do is combine all of the 20 eco-zone plans, single plan, and that's not that hard because there's lots of overlap. And that's what we're going to present as part of Science Week to the Prime Minister as a way forward. And guess what? It won't have been done before. This is the first time this has happened, Australia. The first time students have all worked together to actually build this sort of program and a plan. And guess what? All based on what the United Nations are doing. We need to be doing sustainable development goals. So today is really to say, look, we've got an exciting program and an exciting task moving forward. It's going to be fun. I just want to give you one more story just to show you how easy. When we were preparing for the program, we actually went out to one of the schools just near Sydney and we had 65 Year 9 students. If you're still feeling like, oh, just have a listen. And what we had to do was about sustainability. And what we did was ask the students what were the major issues on the planet. We know that because we've already got sustainable development goals. So they got that in about 5 minutes. And then we looked at how they're interconnected. And students worked that out in 5 minutes. We take everybody out of poverty, then that's great, but we'll also use up more resources, so we need to work out how we can resources. We then explained how they could turn that into a plan, and the way I explained that is, I think we're already managing the planet, and the answer was probably about 4 out of 10. How well were businesses, Google and those managing their business? Everybody put 10 out of 10. So what I explained is how those businesses, their operators, that if we use the same approaches, you think that would make a difference to how we. Everybody said yes. So what I did is I gave them a tough task. You've got 6 weeks to. I gave them 20 minutes of one of the problems we're facing. Guess which one? Great Barrier Reef. We're happening at the Great Barrier Reef. We're concerned about it. So we divided them up into groups of 10. They all went off, had 20 minutes to solve the problems of the Great Barrier Reef, come back. They all presented it. What we did was then turn that into a very simple business plan. And an example was they suggested fly drones at the Barrier Reef. Well, that's great because that measures what's happening and you can manage. You can see And we translated it into one single business plan. Then I asked the students how well they thought they'd done it. Remember, they had 20 minutes to, and they all said 8 out of 10. We think we got 8 out of 10. And guess what the answer was? They were right. Because we have a plan that was put together by a whole lot of academics and scientists on the Great Barrier Reef on what to do. Students in 20 minutes, just by thinking, talking, had got 80%. So I just give you that example because it shows you how easy this is. All you have to do is go and look at your student area, find out what's already happening, work out what you think needs to happen, put it on your page, and then we'll load those up to the website. We'll all be able to see what else is doing, and then that in the second phase, the build phase, start to put those together into the plan for Australia. So look, I just wanted to explain that, Nat, to give everybody a little bit of an idea of what we're doing and how we're going to move. I just click to the next slide now.
Oh, stand right in front of it.
So your next steps are make sure you receive your certificate of achievement. I always get this wrong. And you can work with other students, friends, family to complete your one-page discovery summary. But most important, and that's the reason I do this, this is fun. So have fun and enjoy designing our and future.
Okay, I think we've got a bit of a video to watch. Is that right? Up next, a small video.
Well, we've got one at the end, but
Oh, okay.
did you know that we've got Kent Street
Of course.
from Perth
That's right.
who are going to tell us a little bit about what they've been doing over there in this
Okay.
discovery phase.
Excellent.
So they're on the line. I know they're on the line. So I'm going to see if we can get Kent Street to join us and explain a little bit of what they're doing, because I can talk about all of this stuff, but they can explain how much fun they're already having
Excellent.
over there. So I'm going to see if we can get Kent Street on. Let me see. We can get Kent Street to join us.
It's a bit of a delay.
Explain a little bit of what they're doing, because I can talk about all of this stuff, but they can explain how much fun they're already having over there. So I'm going to see if we can get Kent Street on.
Okay, you do? Can you hear us?
Okay, we might need to mute the phone at this point, and we've got a bit of a feedback loop, so we might have to try and feed it through our microphone. Let's just see if we can try and...
Okay. Yeah, we got you there, Susie. Yep, sure have. So, look, we just were using the speakerphone there. Sorry about this. We've got the team there. They're all set to go. We just need to do solve a little technology problem, but that's
2
what
seconds.
this is all about. You there? Are you there, Kent? Are you there, Kent Street team? Great. Okay, well, I'm going to put you on the microphone, Susie. I'm going to hand it across to you and your team. And if you just let us know what you're actually doing over at Kent Street and in Western Australia, that would be great. I'm going to hand you across now.
Okay. We can't hear what's going on though. Okay, so here's my team. Doing the discovery phase. So I'm handing it over to Jessica now. Walk into it. I don't know.
Hi, my name's Jessica. I'm a Year 12 at Kent Street Senior High School. I'm the leader of Ecozone 1, which is the Pilbara in Western Australia. In this area, we have 14 shires. We've planned and constructed a table to allow our data to be relevant and reliable. So far, we've found that our ecozone is isolated from the rest of West Australia. population numbers and incomes, even though they're the major funding for Australia. We're so far looking at trying to set plans to reconnect this region of WA with reference to the Gulf.
Hi, my name is Leanne, and I'm also a Year 12 student here at Kent Street. And I'm the group leader for Ecozone 3. Perth. Although the metropolitan Perth region is relatively small compared to the ecozones around it, it contains over half of Western Australia's population and is divided into 29 local government areas. Through research we've found so far, there seems to be great interboundary discrimination between the local government areas across topics like education, health, poverty, etc. So for our discovery phase, we wanted to highlight the challenges faced by the local government areas and the contrasting situations between ecozones and between government areas. So we've devised a draft table to organize our research based on data into. The table clearly states the challenges faced, their negative impacts, negative cross impacts, proposed solutions, and positive outcomes.
Hello, I'm Ethan Hunt and I'm part of Ecozone 1. I am doing economic sustainability in the East Pilbara Shire, which is very important to the country's economy. There are lots of mining companies that have been in decline over the past couple of years. The industry is very important as it's one of the places which mining is prevalent, and so it is one of the major sources of sustaining our economy in Australia.
Hello, my name is Vinodarshini Vigneswaran. I'm a Year 11 student. My focus area is clean water and sanitation in Ecozone 1, and I am honoured to be a part of this amazing opportunity. We, as a team, have been engaging ourselves in doing research on our individual ecozones and sustainable goals. However, I have been researching on the water quality and clean water sanitation of each shires on the northern part of Western Australia above the Tropic of Capricorn. As we all know, water is the most essential part of our lives, but based on my research, it has been stated that not all people are privileged to use clean water for cooking, cleaning, and so on. Moreover, from one of the article on the Shire of Wyndham, the so-called natural fresh water in Wyndham is contaminated by very rare microorganisms and bacteria. This is affecting most of the people's health conditions. I'm really looking forward in achieving beneficial solutions and make a change in the society.
Hi, my name is Alon Mashay. I'm a Year 9 student at Kent Street Senior High School. I'm in a part of Ecozone 3. I love science. I find it a different world, another way to look at things. It justifies things, makes everything make sense. There are no boundaries as to where it can take you. I got into Plan for the Planet not only because there is a strong passion for science, there is also a passion to make a difference too. I don't want to have the opportunity in front of me to change someone's life, to make a difference for the world I live in, and completely reject that simply because I'm too lazy to do something. The reason I'm passionate about this is because I feel like we have so much to explore, so much more to find out, and I want to make sure we have the opportunity to do so. The learning, the exploring, it doesn't stop here. Right now I'm learning all about sodium levels in our drinking water and the effects it has on us as humans, our agriculture and our marine life. I've actually learned so many incredible things that I'm not just leaving in this classroom but bringing it into other ones as well.
Hello, my name is Navinia Salvaraja. I'm a Year 11 in Ecozone 3. My focus area is poverty. I've always been passionate about poverty, and it has always boggled my mind that people my age are living without some basic needs such as shelter. Just by some simple research, I have found out that there are many young adults who take advantage of programs such as Centrelink and Youth Allowance who choose not to work, whilst there are others who need jobs but can't afford to get a coat suit or to print out their resume to go to an interview. My ultimate goal is to eliminate poverty. Imagine a WA with no poverty. Imagine an Australia with no poverty, no homelessness, no people starving or dehydrated, not being able to afford basic needs. This is my goal.
I know, it's big, but that's why I chose this platform to showcase an opportunity of a better, healthier Australia. If we work together and network with the right people, we will be able to achieve this goal by no more than 2030. All we need to do is care. Care enough to put effort in and work towards this goal. But not just this goal. Every other topic here has been chosen specifically as it affects your future, our future, and I choose to make a difference. Thank you.
In coming weeks, we're looking at collecting and completing other research in our ecozone with relation to the goals. We're also holding a data fund so that schools from our ecozones are able to voice their opinions about the challenges we're trying to solve, while collecting relevant and reliable data from them.
Okay, Ian, that's the student voice from Ecozones 1 and 3 here in WA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susie, and all of the speakers from the Western Australia Kent Street team. I've got to say, Nat, what a team.
Yeah, it's excellent.
And I've been visiting lots of the other teams as well, and I've got to say, it's pretty exciting.
Oh, it's so nice to hear not only the work that they've already done, but how passionate that everybody is about the project. It's really encouraging.
It really is. And it's something I learnt when I spoke to that school right in the beginning of the program, that all the answers are there. There's a lot of great work being done, and we've got a chance to pull it all together. And I think, as some of our students were saying, really make a difference.
Yeah. I love what you were saying about that 20% as well. It's such a nice way to think about it, as we focus on that 20% and achieve 80% of the results.
It's
amazing.
a really good lesson. So we're learning lessons here about sustainability and making Australia a terrific place moving forward. Already a terrific place, but keeping it that way. But as well, there's some really valuable lessons just about, well, these are business principles, but they apply to everyday life as well. Just focusing on the most important things often solves 80%. And the other secret to that one, which is a bit of fun, is while you're focusing on the 20%, the 80% that you're not focusing on usually gets solved at the same time.
Interesting.
And that's the thing about interconnectivity.
Right.
So often we have challenges that are interconnected, and they make things worse. But once we start solving problems, the interconnection actually solves. So if we solve, say, clean energy, we're addressing climate change. That's a really obvious one. But there's other ones as we start to lift people out of poverty that addresses some of the other issues as well. So one of the important things, as I mentioned up front, is sharing. The students sharing what they're discovering. And that's not only within their ecozone and the teams. We have the forum on the website that students can get onto and start sharing what they're learning in their student focus areas. So everybody's plugged into that. We'd encourage everybody to get on there after today's call, or if you're, watching the recording and just starting to ask questions. So I'm sure there's a lot of questions for the team in Kent Street. So jump onto the forum and you can find out more of not only what has been on the call today, but what else is happening there. I know some fantastic things are happening up in Pimlico, in Townsville, at Ulladulla, and in South Australia, in Darwin. So we've got a whole terrific team across Australia working on this.
And our peers are often our greatest resource, especially as young people, because they're the ones who are going to understand what you're talking about and the issues that you're dealing with.
Look, exactly. And there's one thing about, working as a team of young Australians, is the team of young Australians have much better social media skills than I do, and probably you do. It's the sort of thing that everybody's doing every day, so that all the answers makes it exciting, and the team knows how to.
That's right. So what's up next? We've heard from Kent Street. Thank you again, Kent Street. That was excellent and very encouraging, as I said.
And inspiring.
Inspiring, very inspiring.
So the next part is we're going to do a Q&A. So I'm sure there's questions that some of the Kent Street team might have. And some of the other schools.
Okay.
Now, we're going to have to manage our technology here, and one of the fun bits about conference calls is all the ticks and buzzers in the background.
That's right.
Can mess things up a little bit. So we're going to try and manage this as best we can. So if you have a question, what I'd suggest is you take your phone off mute and you ask the question and then put your phone back on mute, and we'll try and cover it up.
And perhaps if you start, before answering your question, just identify which school you're from, and that way if we have two people joining in at the same time, we can at least pick one, and then it's clear about how we're moving forward. So introduce yourself, where you're from, and then go with your question.
Okay, so we're going to throw it open to questions and answers.
Excellent. Now we may experience a couple of delays, but let's go.
Okay, so let's see which questions we've got out there.
Another important point just to make note is that if you are asking a question, you need to turn the volume down on the presentations. That way we won't get that feedback loop so that we're hearing ourselves back as well as your question.
Okay, so we're going to just switch to handset now, and then we can put you on microphone on this. So first of all, are there any questions from our team?
I think we've got Kent Street.
We've got Kent Street. So first of all, have we got any other schools on the live broadcast? I know it was a little bit tricky for some of the schools, but have we got any other schools on the line? Okay, we're still getting a little bit of loop around here. So we know we've got the Kent Street team. Have we got any questions from our Kent Street team? Okay, no problem. Sounds like they've got no questions.
Okay, excellent.
Have we got any other schools online that have questions?
We're just checking the YouTube feed as well, just to see if there's anything coming in that way. Otherwise, what we could do is, while people are preparing their questions, is perhaps show a video or have a bit of a talk through all these steps, Ian.
Yeah, look, perhaps you might have some questions, Matt, about how we're going to actually...
Just a comment. I was thinking about business management frameworks and plans, and I know you broke it down really nicely in that, that's the next step. It's not the step that I guess is being worked on right now. But to young people who may not have much experience in building a business plan, can you give us a bit of a quick summary of what that involves or what's included in a business plan?
Yeah, look, what I usually explain to most of the students is that we've kept this really simple, not for students, because students, I find, pick this up really quickly.
Right.
Because this is the sort of problem solving they're doing every day. I kept it simple for big companies.
Yeah.
Because they tend to be big, and lots of people heading in different directions. So what we found is another really important principle in business was keep it simple.
Yeah.
Because if you keep it simple, it works. And my old company used to run businesses across the world, 165 countries. And if we made it too complicated,
right.
So the way to build a business plan, which we'll talk a little bit more as we start to move into the April-May period, but the way we'll do that is simply take those 4 key topics, and for each of those we'll set up simply an objective. What do we want to achieve here? And when we looked at the Great Barrier Reef, the students said a healthy reef.
Right.
That's not that complicated. But we can break that down into what does a healthy reef look like.
Sure.
And we'll be working then with the universities and other organisations like, UN Youth and Foundation for Young Australians to help look at what that objective looks like, what a healthy reef in that case would look like. And then some of the strategies the students had come up with, like flying drones across the reef, that's a strategy for monitoring. So we then, for every objective, start to look at the strategies. We then start to look at who needs to do it. So who's going to operate the drones and who's going to measure that, etc.
Yeah.
And when are they going to do that? Because if we all keep putting it off, nothing will happen. And then the last part is we say, well, how are we going to measure whether we're getting anywhere?
Sure.
So it's no good having a plan. And the good part about that is as we build that for each ecozone, we have two things. We have an ecozone plan that can combine into the national plan, but we also have...
I think we've got a slide.
We
If
have
go
got
back
a-
to that
yeah,
slide
we
with the
perhaps-
process.
Well, this will go up onto the website.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so I'm not expecting everybody to have a look at this.
Way here.
But in the last phase, the engage phase, which is the bottom yellow, what we will then be able to do is then work with the people in the ecozone to actually make that happen.
Okay.
So that the planning phase is all about putting a game plan together that in the end we can turn into an implementation plan. And that's all businesses do, and that's how they are very, very successful.
Kind of brings us back to that, the idea of simplicity as well, because if you want to influence people, the easier it is for them to put your plans into action, the more likely that you're going to have influence on their actions.
It's really interesting because, again, you know, in business, people will talk about what's called the elevator pitch.
Right, yeah.
And I organised an entire conference once going up and down the elevator because I couldn't get anybody on the telephone. They were all too busy.
Yeah.
But they all walked in, and I got in the elevator one morning and I got this person. And as they got out, the next person. But the important part about an elevator pitch is putting it simply and then being able to convey that very simply. So an elevator pitch is often one sentence. And when people ask, what am I doing? I say I'm making sure that we have a planet we can all live on and enjoy in 30 years. People can relate
Simple,
to that.
yeah.
And if you need an elevator pitch, you can use that one because that's what Plan for the Planet is about.
Yeah.
Keeping it simple,
That's right.
helping people understand, and then getting them enthused. Because often with these sort of issues, people think, oh, it's too big. But once you start looking at what we can do, putting it into a plan, like the opening video said, it's actually not that hard.
Well, look, we're coming up close to the end. I know we've got a video to look at. So maybe, given the troubles we've had with the Q&A, maybe we could encourage people to put some of their questions on the forum.
Well, look, what I'm going to say is today was really about getting the summary of what we're doing, making sure everybody has that, understands it's simple and it's fun. But the other part was getting everybody connected. So Kent Street, again, thank you, Kent Street, and your team for just a fantastic and inspirational, presentation. And what I think we'll do is exactly as you said, is we'll encourage everybody now to jump onto the forum and start trading ideas, exchanging ideas, ask the Kent Street team. And in fact, that's the best Q&A. We know that the web works and it works well. Telecommunications, sometimes not. So I think we got a great message from Kent Street, so that worked well. But I think we might leave the rest of the Q&A for the forum. How's that
keep
sound?
it online. Sounds great. So how about we thank everybody for joining us via the live feed, over the teleconference, and anyone who's going to be watching the recording later today or later in the week. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Ian, for coming in today and allowing me to be part of this as well. Fantastic.
Pleasure. The most important part, Nat, is it's a big team all making a better future.
That's
and
right.
you're an important part of that.
Thank you. So we might go to the video and as I suppose, an outro to this conference here today. Thanks again for everyone for joining us. Good luck with your plans. I'm confident that we'll see some fantastic things coming up over the next month before we meet again.
Thank you, Nat. Thank you, everybody. And most important part, have fun and enjoy. Thank
Thanks,
you.
goodbye.
Bye.